What if I told you that a philosophy created over 2,000 years ago holds the key to mastering every challenge life throws at you? And what if the greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and thinkers throughout history have used these exact principles to build unshakable mental strength? Stay with me, because in the next 15 minutes, you're going to discover the 3 core pillars of Stoicism that will completely transform how you handle stress, setbacks, and uncertainty. I'm about to show you why everyone from Marcus Aurelius to modern Navy SEALs swear by this ancient wisdom, and by the end of this video, you'll have practical tools to start building your own fortress of mental resilience today. But first, let me paint you a picture. Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling completely calm, no matter what chaos erupts around you. Picture yourself making decisions from a place of wisdom rather than emotion. Envision handling criticism, rejection, or failure with the grace of a philosopher and the strength of a warrior. This isn't fantasy. This is what Stoicism can do for your life. Now, you might be thinking Stoicism sounds cold or emotionless, but that's the biggest misconception people have about this philosophy. Stoicism isn't about becoming a robot or suppressing your feelings. It's about becoming the master of your own mind and responses. It's about finding freedom through discipline and peace through wisdom. The Stoic philosophy emerged in ancient Greece around 300 BC, but it reached its peak in Rome, with 3 incredible figures whose writings still guide millions today. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled the Roman Empire while writing profound reflections on life. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's most influential teachers. And Seneca, the wealthy advisor who showed how to live virtuously even in positions of power and privilege. These weren't armchair philosophers theorizing about life. They were people facing real challenges, real pressures, and real suffering. They developed Stoicism as a practical system for navigating the storms of existence with dignity and strength. So, what exactly is Stoicism? At its heart, Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control what happens to us, we have complete control over how we respond. It's a philosophy focused on developing wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. The 4 cardinal virtues that form the foundation of a meaningful life. Let's dive into the first core principle that'll change everything for you: the dichotomy of control. This is perhaps the most powerful concept in all of philosophy, and once you truly grasp it, you'll never see challenges the same way again. The dichotomy of control teaches us to divide everything in life into 2 categories: things we can control and things we cannot control. Sounds simple, right? But here's where it gets profound. We can only control our thoughts, our actions, our responses, and our choices. Everything else, other people's behavior, natural disasters, economic conditions, even our own reputation, falls outside our control. Most people spend their entire lives stressed, anxious, and frustrated because they're trying to control the uncontrollable. They worry about what others think. They stress about outcomes beyond their influence. They get angry at traffic jams and weather patterns. But once you embrace this principle, you'll experience a liberation unlike anything you've ever felt. When you face a difficult situation, ask yourself, what part of this can I actually control? Then pour all your energy into that area while accepting everything else with equanimity. This isn't passive resignation, it's strategic focus that multiplies your effectiveness. The second pillar is virtue as the highest good. Here's something that might surprise you. Stoics believe that virtue is the only true good in life. Not money, not fame, not even health or relationships. While these things can be valuable, they're not what determines whether you live a good life. The 4 Stoic virtues are wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom means making sound decisions and seeing reality clearly. Courage isn't just physical bravery, it's having the strength to do what's right even when it's difficult or unpopular. Justice involves treating others fairly and contributing to the common good. Temperance is self-discipline and moderation in all things. When you make virtue your primary goal, something remarkable happens. External circumstances lose their power over your happiness. You can find fulfillment in meaning regardless of your bank account, your job title, or your social status. You become internally scorecard-driven rather than externally scorecard-driven. The third core principle is building anti-fragility through adversity. Stoics don't just tolerate hardship, they use it as fuel for growth. They understand that obstacles aren't roadblocks, but opportunities to practice virtue and build character. This is where Stoicism gets really practical. When you face setbacks, instead of asking, "Why me?" you start asking, "How can this make me stronger?" Every challenge becomes a chance to practice patience, courage, or wisdom. Every criticism becomes an opportunity to examine yourself honestly. Every failure becomes a lesson in humility and perseverance. Stoics practice something called negative visualization, regularly imagining loss or hardship, not to be pessimistic, but to build gratitude for what they have and prepare mentally for life's inevitable changes. They also engage in voluntary discomfort, occasionally choosing to sleep on the floor or eat simple meals to remind themselves that they can be happy with less. But here's what makes Stoicism so powerful in our modern world. We live in an age of constant distraction, instant gratification, and emotional reactivity. Social media amplifies our fears and comparisons. News cycles flood us with problems we can't solve. Consumer culture tells us happiness comes from external acquisition. Stoicism provides an antidote to all of this. It teaches us to find contentment within ourselves, to focus on what truly matters, and to build the mental strength necessary to thrive in a chaotic world. It's not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally intelligent and resilient. So how do you start implementing these principles today? Begin each morning by reminding yourself of the dichotomy of control. When challenges arise, pause and identify what aspects you can influence. Make decisions based on virtue rather than convenience or immediate pleasure. View obstacles as training for your character. Remember, Stoicism isn't a destination, but a practice. These ancient philosophers gave us a roadmap for living with wisdom, courage, and peace. The question isn't whether you'll face difficulties. The question is whether you'll meet them as a victim or as a philosopher. Start today. Start small, but start. Your future self will thank you for taking the first step toward mastering life's challenges through timeless wisdom.